Leo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early to mid February 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Leo collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for these beautiful Leos in early to mid February 2026? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Leo in early to mid February. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick. Oh, okay. I will take it. So, yeah, this one came up on its face. So, this one is dualistic. And I feel like I'm not sure if it came out for you or someone else last week. And the one message with this card is very, very good, very happy, extremely lighthearted. For some others of you, this energy could be extremely skeptical or spirit asking you to be, especially with that symbolism. I'm sure a lot of you can put two and two together with that type of imagery. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the February subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So you can see we have this little jester-like individual, and they're putting on a little puppet show, right? They're playing with the little puppets, doing their little thing. So first and foremost, I'll start with the positive. This can be a card that represents having fun, having a good time. This person is literally playing and trying to entertain others. So that's a very optimistic way to look at it. So for some Leos, maybe there's something in life that you're really enjoying right now. That would be a nice thing. Or this could be spirit saying like, hey, Leo, all work and no play is not too good, right? Like if you've been too serious or dealing with something and it's like heavy, 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 spirit might want you to lighten the load energetically, so to speak, when this card is here. Have a good time. So whether it's a hobby, whether it's entertainment, it's just something to break up the monotony, which is good. But the downside to this card, obviously, when we see a masked person pulling the strings of something, it's like, oh, all might not be what it seems. Or there could be someone here where it's like, I'm not sure if I trust them. Because when I think of somebody pulling the strings from behind the curtain, that makes me, I don't want to dive right into the manipulation aspect, but it's like there's more to more to this than what it seems. So some of you might be a little on edge like that with a person or a situation, but we're just going to let them chill out right there. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Let's shuffle it up one time here for the lovely Leos. What do we got? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled A Shocking Shift, and there was definitely tower energy in your reading last week, but it didn't necessarily feel like a bad tower to me. It's like something does a quick 180 or something shifts. Now, for some of you, maybe it was something within you. Maybe it was a perspective, a feeling, an emotion where it's like, okay, I feel the total opposite about something. Or it could have been a change in like a situation with a person, you name it. To me, it was just an energy that moves quick, that does a quick turnaround. And it felt optimistic for a lot of you, but just know that energy could still bleed over for a couple weeks. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Leo. What do we got? Okay, it's a good start. I mean, it could be a good start. We got the Ace of Cups in position number 1. Let's get it tucked in right here by the amethyst so that could hang out. Let's get 2 more. What do we got for Leo? Okay, take it. Hey, we got our good friend here, our pal, Mr. King of Cups, a.k.a. Kyle of Cups himself, without a beard. He has a little goblet. He's chilling out, and he's having a darn good time. Let's get one more here. So this is a theme I'm seeing with a lot of the fire signs is there's a lot of people showing up, and there's a lot of water. And we got the Queen of Pentacles chilling out right here. So who are all these people? What is all this energy that's not pointing directly at you? There could be a lot of things about your circle, like the people around you. So whether it's work, family, or otherwise. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, I like the elemental mixture. Now, these elements, and I always like to focus on those real quick just to see, because it tells us areas of life that could be highlighted or how energy is moving. Water, earth. This combination is generally very good. They could represent blessings when they combine, which is nice. But for a fire sign like yourself, usually fire energy and air energy, that's the comfort zone, unless you have a lot of water and earthy placements. Water, that's the internal realm, that's the emotional realm, the inside version of you. It could represent people or things that we care deeply for, things that get an emotional response from us. This could represent creativity. So for some Leos, maybe the creative juices are flowing. So whether it's a hobby, whether it's creative solutions to things that you're going through. I think water is a good energy because it's workable. Now, the downside to water is that it's always ebbing and flowing, right? It's always up and down and back and forth and dark and light. So there's an unpredictability to water, and it can be very intense. On the back end with the earth, nice. This combination, the earth does stabilize this a little bit. Earth could represent your feelings of security. Um, in balance, it could represent day to day routine. Big when it comes to money, work, finances, career, investments, home, and family. So Earth represents the world around us and the material world. So the combination is good. It's like we got the inner, we got the outer. We just need to see how it all plays, because we do have two court cards that aren't Leo cards technically. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we're starting with the Ace of Cups. Now, I love all aces. I always say it. To me, they represent offers and opportunities. So to me, the Ace of Cups is great. It's probably one of the best ones. Now, we did speak about the water suit, and this does fill that same little gap. I always say they're fresh, they're new. It could also represent the emotional state. So we might be seeing how you feel or how someone else feels when we look at the Ace of Cups. Huge for communication, huge for getting something off the chest. So there might be a message, there might be a talk of importance that we want to look at with this card. So I like it, and it's usually pretty nice. But what's the downside? Because I always like to give you both sides of the coin. The Ace of Cups can be very fleeting. This could be an energy that's here 1 second and then it goes away. So fleeting feelings, fleeting situations. It's not the most reliable energy, where there's a lot of potential here, but it's not fully realized yet. So we do want to look at it. And of course, it could represent somebody that's really in their feelings. So we'll see. It's usually a very good card. I don't want to turn a positive into a challenge. Again, it could just be a talk or an offer of some kind. So we'll see what's up. Now, moving to the middle, we got our good friend here, Mr. King of Cups himself. Obviously, one of my favorite cards in the whole entire deck. And when the King of Cups shows up, as with all kings, they represent control of their respective suit. So we spoke at length about what the water energy represents. So when I see the King of Cups, I think of controlling of emotions, control over that inner world. This can represent the fullest expression of the suit. So when we go from this small expression of the water to the biggest, like these are big feelings. These could be really big ups and downs. This could be something that intensifies very quickly. So just keep an eye on that. Like you might be on a bit of an emotional roller coaster, or someone might not be. Might be. I'm not saying it's definitely you. Love it for the creativity. This is the fullest expression of love, so I think it's great. But what might be the downside with the King of Cups? Losing control of emotion, right? All the good things can flip the opposite with this card. Big feelings that are hard to keep reined in. But we're going to call them a positive until we see otherwise. For another portion of you, this could be a water sign you're connected to. So Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. King of Cups can sometimes be someone that plays off of your emotions or plays off someone's emotions, where it's like, oh, feel they try to make you feel bad for them, like a guilt trip. But we're not going to just focus on that alone. On the back end, we do have the Queen of Cups. It's nice. I always like when we have a king and queen together, regardless of the suit. Big earth energy. So Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus. Now, I see her as very similar to the Empress. So I think of blessings, I think of abundance, I think of inner security and stability. So we really want to look and see what her downside or what her clarifier might be, because it could be telling us, especially with all this water, how someone's feeling. Are they feeling safe and secure? Are they feeling like the ground is shaky? But normally this is like a win, victory, or blessing, which I think is great. Now, the big downside to the Queen of Pentacles, sometimes it could be an energy that's a little too set in its ways or a little too firm. There could be certain things that might not be moving to your liking that you might find frustrating when this card is here. because it's heavy, right? It's intense. So that seems to be the underlying theme with all this is the intensity. But we also have like all these people. If you're energetically sensitive to the energy of people around you, just keep an eye on that. But I want to dive deeper on all this, Leo. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. And yeah, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Ace of Cups. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Leo, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, let's see what the Ace of Cups has. Why is it here for Leo, please? Why is the Ace of Cups here? Okay. Oh, there we go. I'll take it. Yeah, this is like something I just gotta say. When there's something that you really want to say, or someone that you really want to speak to, and it's like I can't bite my tongue. Now, listen, I know a lot of beautiful Leos in personal life. I know generally, for the most part, Leos are not known to bite their tongue, right? Like if there's something you really want to say, Leos are going to say it and tell it like it is. So, like the Ace of Cups with Temperance in reverse, it's like, why hold it back? Why hide what I'm feeling? Why not say it? Like that's the big vibe I'm picking up here. So just know whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, there's like this energy that's like burning a hole in my pocket, so to speak, where it's like, I just have to do this, or I just have to say this. Now, does it mean that it's like an explosive talk? I don't want to go there yet, but temperance in reverse is something that happens quick. It happens very sudden. And I feel like I've seen something like for that for you in recent weeks, where could it be a unexpected, surprising talk or message? Absolutely. Now, temperance is Sagittarius energy. Archangel Michael, huge for spiritual protection. So that's a little bonus here. But Saggy, or not Saggy energy, temperance is retracted, it's pulled back, it's calm, it's taking its time. In reverse, it's the complete opposite. It's like, nope, I'm going to do it. Nope, I'm going to say it. So if it's action, it's very fast action. If it's a conversation, I'm not biting my tongue and I'm going to speak my piece. So someone might be feeling that way. Let's keep going. And this could even be something that hasn't even arisen for some of you, where someone might say something or ask you a question, and you're like, you know what? I'm not going to bite my tongue about this. I'm just going to say it. But it kind of comes out of the blue. Let's go in on the king, especially with all these people showing up, and now I have this message or talk showing up. Let's see what the king has. Got a lot happening here. It feels very chatty. I was picking that up in other fire signs last week, where the energy just feels yappy, it feels chatty. All right, this could be good. It's like, relief. This is nice. So we have the 10 of Wands in reverse underneath this King of Cups. I think that this is actually really nice. If this is a change or a shift, kind of like what we saw last week, it's like, I feel so much lighter. I feel so much better. So if it's tied into this action, it's like after I do it, I feel much better about it. After I say it, I feel way better. Like that's the big combined energy I'm picking up here. Because remember, the King of Cups, that's the emotions, and we do have the little ups and downs. But the 10 of Wands, it could be very heavy. Now, the good thing about this card, it can represent determination, grit, I can't stop, won't stop type of energy. So, like when it shows up in reverse underneath the King of Cups, it's like, I'm just going to stop trying so hard, or why try so hard? So, those are the main two messages. For some Leos, maybe it's someone else. There's an energy that's like, I just don't want to try it that hard anymore. I don't have the energy to push, or I don't have the energy to try hard with this. Or this is that relieved, like, all right, I feel so much better. That's the big vibe I'm picking up, especially after this talk or message. There's something about it that's very relieving to me. It's like I have weight off my shoulders. Now, I do want to see what's up with her, because I don't want to just hyper focus on the conversation aspect. But King of Cups with the 10 of Wands in reverse, that's pretty darn good to me. But let's keep going. So if you've been going through some heavy stuff, a lot of heavy energy, this really bodes well, because it's like, all right, I'm relieving pressure. So let's see what the Queen of Pentacles has, and we'll do our recap. So why is she here? Why is this Queen of Pentacles in the mix? And then even better. So it's like once this happens and this relieved energy, and you might not be trying so hard or stressing about something so much, it's like boom, then everything like connects, all the lines connect. So we have the Seven of Swords. in reverse, which is a good thing. This could represent someone that's very reliable, trustworthy. So if there's anyone that you've been a little skeptical about recently, where it's like, I don't know about them, this energy to me is like, no, what you see is what you get. Like what this person says, they say what they mean and they mean what they say, which could be really good for a lot of you. I like the reliability of this energy on the back. However, this is also an energy of the hidden, the unknown. In its worst case, the Seven of Swords could represent like a thief or someone that's not very trustworthy in the upright. But to me, it's just something that's not on my radar. So it's like, boom, we have this in reverse underneath this Queen of Pentacles. That screams an unexpected, surprising win or victory, whatever label we want to put on it. Remember, I was saying to me, she represents those blessings, those wins and victories. So Seven of Swords in reverse, it's like all the dots connect. Everything actually lines up. And it's like the relief comes before the win. That's the vibe. So regardless of what you might be dealing with, if there's something that's making you a little tense, the relief happens before the win. It's like we address it, we feel relieved, then the win, then the big one comes in. And it kind of pops in out of the blue, very similar to the conversation. So we have all this energy that's kind of flying out of nowhere. So we have that unexpected win, victory, whatever we want to call it. But let's go through and do a quick recap. Then we'll get into the shadows. So very intriguing mixture of stuff here this week, Leo. There's some really great stuff, and then there's this energy where it's like neutral. But if you kind of look in the box, position number one, we have the Ace of Cups with Temperance in reverse. This is an energy that is refusing to bite its tongue about something, where it's like, I'm just going to say it. Why hold back? Why edit myself? So it's going to speak its piece. So I think that's a good thing, right? It's not always good to suppress and hold things in. This energy says what it wants to say, moving to the center, or takes the action that it wants to take. In the center, we have the King of Cups with the Ten of Wands in reverse. This feels like a relief. Now, for some of you, there could be something where Spirit's like, don't put so much effort in, or you don't have to try too hard. Just let things flow. This is about getting into the flow state right here in the center. So whether you're doing that, whether there is something that you put a lot of energy into, and now you're like, you know what? I'm going to let it do what it does. I think it's okay. But to me, it feels relieved. It's like, I have so much weight off my shoulders. After relief comes the win. And it's like dots connect, connect, connect. Boom. We have this winner victory that pops up out of the blue. Queen of Pentacles with the Seven of Swords. This can also represent somebody that's very reliable or someone that you can depend on. So whether this is like a friend, a family member, or someone that shows up, it's like, no, this person is truthful. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. All right, let's get a good shuffle here for my Leos. What do we got? And yes, this is where I go intuitive and pull you a shadow card. It's something I always love to do. With whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see, we're gonna see what shows up. It doesn't always have to be a bad thing, right? So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get this going here. What do we got for Leo in the shadows? Quick. Cool. Two of Wands. Now, the good thing about the Two of Wands is that it's great when it comes to planning and strategy, which is the total opposite of what we've seen within your reading this week, where it's like we have the spontaneous out of the blue, spontaneous out of the blue. The Two of Wands underneath is like there might be something that looks spontaneous, but there could be some kind of planning around it. So whether it's something that you manifested in, or if someone's acting in a spontaneous manner, it might not be as spontaneous as you perceive it to be. So just keep that in mind. I like this for planning. I love this because it's structured, but the Two of Wands does have a downside. Sometimes it can represent an energy that feels kind of caught in limbo, where it's like, I'm just up in the air, I'm kind of floating here. So watch out for feelings like that, because this can either be indecisive or stuck. So to me, just like we saw in the reading itself, there's something about getting into the flow state, where it's like you don't even have to try hard, you just need to allow. So Leo, that's what I have for you this week, my beautiful friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details. The February subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation, you could book a personal reading with me at my website, mastermetaphysics.com, so we could have a little chat. My February calendar is up, so go check that out. They usually go pretty quick. But for the February subscriber surprise, we're doing a nice different style this month. We're doing a winner's choice. So the winners, which will be 3, will have their choice of the Tarot of the Owls, the Gilded Tarot Royale, or a handmade crystal pendant from my shop, mastermetaphysics.com once again. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's two simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the cards we saw in this week's reading, which one caught your attention the most, whether it really inspired you or hit you right in your feelings. Anyone that stood out to you, and you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.